What's going on, guys? This is Dave back with another experiment on the channel today. Now I hope you all enjoyed yesterday's episode with Paul Scholes as Manchester United manager, and of course, as always, if you guys have got any requests for experiments for managers or players at their old clubs, please do let me know. I've had a couple of people ask me about legends from about 60-70 years ago who are no longer alive. It's a bit of a struggle because they are not actually on the Football Manager database. At the moment I'm looking to do people that are still living that I can find somewhere on the FM database, but in the future I will do people that have unfortunately passed away, such as I think there was Billy Wright at Wolves, George Best at Manchester United. I'll probably do those later on in the year, but for the time being we're doing living legends, and just to clear that up anyway for future comments. So I'll jump into the video now and I hope you all enjoy it. What's up, guys, it's Dave and welcome to my channel. Make sure you drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Now, watch this. Ugh. So on today's video we've got Thierry Henry as Arsenal manager. He picked up 123 appearances for the French national team, scoring 51 goals. Now he's got some very decent stats as a manager. Man management at 18, judging player ability and potential, which is 17 and 18 respectively, motivation at 17, tactical knowledge at 15. Unfortunately his level of discipline is only at 1 though. His scouting knowledge is pretty strong as he has played abroad quite a lot. You know, he's got very good knowledge of the US rather, England, France, Spain, Martinique, and a little bit about Italy because I'm pretty sure he used to play for Juventus as well. Of course, his history, if we have a quick look, played for Monaco, Juventus for the 1 year, played at Arsenal, Barca, New York Red Bulls, went back for a little loan stint at Arsenal as well. Now his preferred formation is a 5-3-2 with a sweeper and a wing back, which is interesting because it's a lot different to formations that you normally see. He has a passing playing style, a tactical coaching style, attacking playing mentality. He likes to close down with his pressing style, zonal marking, and his second preferred formation is a 4-3-3 narrow. So it'll be interesting to see how well he can do with different formations. I've got a new face pack as well. That's why we've got a different picture of, or different type of picture of Thierry Henry. Now, Arsenal as a whole, have a quick look here. Obviously, Arteta, Mertesacker is the captain and vice captain. Sanchez is their key player, and generally they are predicted 4th in the league. Let's see if we can get Thierry Henry to get them into the Champions League in that first season. He's classed as a legend at the clubs. It'll be interesting to see if he drops into an icon or favoured personnel. If he doesn't go as planned. But he has got some pretty strong stats, so it'll be interesting to see how well he could do. His reputation's 1.5 star. But let's kick it off the first season of the experiment. So we've completed the first season with Thierry Henry in charge of Arsenal. Now it's time to see how well he does. Interestingly, the insecure jobs is Didier Deschamps at France. It'd be interesting to see if Henry went for that job at all. But Arsenal as a whole have finished 4th, where they were media predicted with 79 points. Just 1 point behind United, who finished in 3rd place, but 2 points ahead of Liverpool, who finished in 5th place. Alexis Sanchez finishing 2nd in the top goal scorer awards, just 1 goal behind Sergio Aguero. Now, Arsenal, Thierry Henry is still in charge, finished the season quite strongly. I'm guessing that neutral means they have won the FA Cup, but we'll have to have a look in a second. Now Thierry Henry, his stats have gone up quite a bit, very, very strong. His reputation's gone up almost 1.5 stars as well, I think, and very strong judging player ability potential, which means his transfers must be very, very good. If we go back now, we'll go on his transfer history. He's brought in 4 players for a combined fee of about 52.25 million. Firstly, the first sale was Gabriel Paulista for 4.7 million. Now it's quite a small amount actually for quite a decent player actually. A couple of players went out on loan. Iwobi went to Wolves, Moore to Chesterfield, Bielik to Forest, and so on. Now the 4 players he signed, interesting ones. Ricardo Rodriguez from Wolfsburg for 21.5 million, which was the biggest fee. Probably needed a left back, to be fair. Arsenal, he started 35 games in the league, 8 games in the Champions League, 7 games in the FA Cup, a very strong average rating of 7.68. He looks like he could be a really good player for them, now valued at 30.5 million. Camille Gilk, I think that is, or Glick rather, who is a defender from Poland. They signed him from Torino for £10 million. He's valued at 14.75 now. Another very decent player, a regular for the Arsenal team. Davy Klaassen from Ajax, who's an attacking midfielder, can play up front as well, and as defensive midfielder on the wing. More of a backup player, it seems. He only actually started 7 games in the league, coming on off the bench twice. I'm not too sure if he was injured or see if he was injured at all. Wow, yeah, he was. Oh, no, it was in 2012. In 2016, he's about 5 weeks out. And then Chris Smalling came in from United, very good signing again. Played 20 games, coming off the bench in 5 in the second part of the season, and he's played quite a bit for United as well in the same season. So good signings overall, in my opinion, there for Henry. Now, how did they do in the other competitions? We will find out. Obviously fourth in the league, knocked out the first knockout round of the Champions League by Real Madrid. They won. It was won in the end by Man City. They lost in the Community Shield to Chelsea. They won the FA Cup though, so they'll be playing Chelsea again in the Community Shield. Sanchez scoring 7 goals in that tournament, and they lost in the 4th round of the Qatar 1 Cup by the eventual winners, who were West Brom, who finished 13th in the end. So that must be in West Brom or in Europe if we have a quick look. They're in Europa League, which is interesting. If we look at the Arsenal schedule, see what kind of happened. So we'll start off with their Premier League run. So they actually lost their first game to Swansea, but went on to beat United. And again, they lost against to Chelsea. They went on some decent runs. I mean, from here, middle of December till the beginning of March, they were unbeaten. They lost to every game they lost was more or less against difficult teams. I mean, they lost to Stoke. That was probably the only kind of let off there, and Swansea at the start of the season, of course. Now in the other competitions, we'll see how their run went. FA Cup, where they won, beat Wolves 3-0 in the 3rd round. Sheffield United 2-1, Swansea 2-0. Liverpool, they beat after a replay, beat them at Anfield 4-2. Sanchez scoring a hat-trick there. Beat Everton 3-2 in the semi-final, and beat Manchester United at Wembley. A sellout crowd at Olivier Giroud with an early goal there. Community Shield, they lost 3-1 to Chelsea in the end. Capital 1 Cup, they lost against West Brom. They beat Cardiff first leg, or 3rd round rather, they beat them 3-1. Joel Campbell scoring twice and Coquelin scoring, but Marcada also scoring. The Champions League group was quite difficult. They had Wolfsburg, Moscow and Barca. They only lost 1 game, and it was to Barcelona 2-1. Quickly see how they ended up in that group. Man City smashing Real Madrid in the final 4-0. What group was it again? Sorry, Group F. And finished 2nd, 3 points behind Barca, who didn't lose a game. And then unfortunately they lost over 2 legs. It was quite close against Real Madrid, but Madrid's first leg win, 3 goals all in the first 11 minutes. Carlos Vela scoring twice for Real Madrid, and then Ronaldo and Rodriguez scoring twice at the Bernabeu to cancel out Sanchez and Giroud's goals. But overall, it's a very strong first season for Thierry Henry. Player-wise, we'll quickly check how well players did. If we're going to stats, not all time, stats overall for the league this season. Ricardo Rodriguez having the most starts, but Ozil playing the same amount of games as him. Top goal scorer of the season was Sanchez, almost grabbing 40 goals. He grabbed 38 overall. Giroud quite a way behind with just 19. Walcott with 11. Assist-wise, Mesut Ozil grabbed 14, 11 for Aaron Ramsey, Cazorla and Rodriguez getting 10. Most player of the matches was actually Ricardo Rodriguez. He beat Alexis Sanchez. Best average rating of the season was Ricardo Rodriguez, the new signing. He beat Alexis Sanchez to that as well, which is very interesting indeed. But it's a very decent first season for Henry, getting some silverware under his belt as well. So we'll holiday another season and see if he can maybe pluck up a bit more of a title challenge, and if he can do as well in other competitions as he done this season. So the second season has been completed. It is time to see how Henry has done at Arsenal. May as well just click that. And he's finished 4th again, 79 points, just 2 behind Man City and just 4 behind the eventual winners Chelsea. Finished quite way ahead of Liverpool at 5th. They finished 13 points ahead. No players feature in the top goals, average rating or assists this time round. Troy Deeney from West Brom actually ended up grabbing top goal scorer. Despite them being in Europe, they finished 7th. So very strong first season in Europe for West Brom. So Thierry Henry as a whole, as a manager, we'll see how well he's done. Reputation, of course, still at 3 star. His judging player ability has actually gone down this season. Level of discipline still at 1. Management's at 19 now, and I don't think anything's changed. His coaching style's actually gone to defending, and I think that's around the same sort of thing that was going on. And now his transfers this season, see who he's brought in. He brought in £102 million worth of players, selling 33.88. First we'll look at his outs. And he's brought out quite a few players. Oxlade-Chamberlain to Liverpool for 14 million. Jack Wilshere went to Newcastle for 8 million. Joel Campbell went to Wolves for 4.5 million. Nacho Monreal went to Shakhtar Donetsk. Of course, he probably wasn't getting much game time with the form of Ricardo Rodriguez. And Carl Jenkinson went to Stoke for 2.4 million. Emiliano Martinez went to Norwich for 625k. Isaac Hayden went to Sunderland. And Matt Macey went to Bournemouth. Flamini left on a free. Any other big players left? Mikel Arteta went on a free. Wonder where he is now. He's at Granada in his native Spain. I think other than that, that's about it. Sonogo went out on loan as well. His ins though, he's spent quite a lot of money on Paulo Dybala from Juventus for £57 million. He looks like he's been a very good player for them this season, scoring 23 goals. In all competitions out of 46 starts. He looks an absolutely incredible player in this game at just 23 years of age. Michael Bradley actually came in from Toronto FC. Didn't really play many games though. More of a backup player, but he's got some pretty decent stats. Heino Bar from Red Bull Salzburg for £2.2 million. He came in. He's a regen. He looks like one for the future, but he's played a lot of games. Played quite a few in the FA Cup, but none in the league for Arsenal. Franco Vasquez from Palermo. He is an attacking midfielder. Brought him in. He's now valued at £28.5 million. Played 23 games, scoring 18 goals, which is a very decent return. Enzo Rocco from Espanyol for £5.5 million. He's a centre-back as well. Played quite a lot of games for Arsenal, 47 overall. And Axel Witsel from Zenit St. Petersburg for £8.75 million. He was came off the bench quite a lot this season for Arsenal. Now, in other competitions, see how they did. Of course, 4th in the league. Knocked out in the quarter-final of the Champions League against Dortmund. So they went one step further this season. FA Cup, they were knocked out in the semi-final by Swansea. It was ended up winning by QPR. Knocked out in the quarters of the Capital One Cup in the North London derby against Tottenham, who ended up winning the competition. And they won the Community Shield this season. So another piece of silverware for Henry. And schedule wise, we'll have a quick look how things went. Now if we look at in the Premier League, see how well they did. Started off with a 4-1 victory at the Emirates against Wolves, and it was quite an inconsistent run. No real streaks of wins this season, no real long streaks. I mean, one of the standout ones was here from the 11th of February to the 8th of April, where they didn't lose a game. And they didn't actually lose their last 5, which is good momentum going into the next season. I mean, they only lost 1, or well, we could even say they only lost 2 in the whole of 2016. From the 20th of December, they only lost 2 games. Once against West Brom, who did pretty well this season, and again against the eventual champions Chelsea as well. And other competitions, we'll check. FA Cup, they did okay in. Got it to the semi-final. They actually beat Manchester United in the 5th round. They beat Leicester 2-1. Huddersfield 2-0, beat United 2-1 with 10 men actually. Southampton took them to a replay but beat them at the Emirates 1-0. And in the semi-final at Wembley, they lost 2-1 to Swansea. Community Shield, they beat Chelsea 3-2. Sanchez scoring twice there at a sellout Wembley. Capital One Cup, they beat Huddersfield 2-1. Beat Yeovil 2-0 but then lost to North London rivals. Spurs, Dele Alli and Harry Kane scoring there. And in the Champions League, went one step further. Another pretty tough group for Arsenal. They had to qualify. They beat Dynamo Kiev there Galatasaray, Basel and Bayern Munich. They didn't actually lose in the group. They didn't actually score many goals either. They only scored 5 goals in the 6 games. But they got through that in the end, beat Napoli. Again, not scoring many goals, but then got smashed at the Signal Iduna Park by Dortmund away from home. 3-0. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scoring twice. Jonas Hoffmann scoring. And Borussia Dortmund then held them to a draw at the Emirates, which knocked them out of the tournament. Players this season, most appearances was for Ricardo Rodriguez yet again. Most goals this season was Sanchez, just pipped Paulo Dybala, who grabbed 23. Vasquez scored 14 in his debut season, and Giroud only started 8 games this season but still scored 10 goals. Most assists was Mesut Ozil, followed by Aaron Ramsey. Most player of the matches was Vasquez, level with Paulo Dybala, and best average rating was Vasquez on his debut season, followed by Laurent Koscielny, the centre-back as well. Now this season, tactics-wise, which I didn't look at last season, he was playing this crazy formation, this 5-3-2, and this is the game that drew 1-1 at the end of the season. But it was crazy. Szczesny starting goal. They play Rocco at this sweeper role, Koscielny and Mertesacker, Rodriguez as a wing back, which is probably why he's playing so well. He's getting up there, grabbing some assists, along with Bellerin on the other side. 3 central midfielders and 2 up front, which is a very interesting formation. But it seems to be doing okay for Arsenal, but maybe a change of formation could see a change in fortune, see them climb up the tail a little bit more. We'll skip forward another season and see how well Thierry Henry can do. So we skip forward another season now, and as you can see on the available jobs, the Arsenal job is available. Has Henry been sacked, or has he walked from the Emirates? We'll find out. They finished in 6th place this season. Not what was expected of them, I'm sure, with just 62 points, 3 points behind Manchester United, who just grabbed that 4th place spot on goal difference ahead of Liverpool. 19 points behind the eventual winners, Chelsea, and they were only 3 points ahead of Everton, who were in 7th place. Now, only Ramsey features. He finished 3rd in the assists race, but of course, job advert there for the Arsenal job. So we'll see what's happened. Henry was sacked after 1,049 days in charge, and he had a very decent record: 96 wins, 41 draws, and 35 losses. He got 2 cup wins, of course, at FA Cup and at Community Shield as well. His stats have remained fairly intact. His reputation's gone up again slightly too. His coaching style's now gone to general. Still got that preferred formation of the 5-3-2. Our press conferences, we've got Henry here. Immediate thoughts following the sacking. He's looking forward to the future already, and he must have had a poor run of form. That's why he got sacked in the end. He said there was no outstanding issues, and I think that's probably why he just had a poor season overall. We'll have a look at that now. We'll see who he's brought in. He must have lasted the whole season. He spent around the same amount as last season, 103 million. Luciano Vietto coming in from Atletico Madrid, very good striker there. The Argentine, only got the 1 cap for his nation, but very strong stats, very good physically and good finisher. He's grabbed 20 goals this season for Arsenal. Andre Gomez from Valencia for 24.5 million as well, central midfielder. He was a regular for Arsenal this season. And who else did he bring in? He brought in Sergi Dada from Lyon, who's a defensive midfielder. He only started 13 games, coming off the bench in 40. So he probably wasn't too happy with that, but it seems like he could be, or was, he looks a very good player. We've also got Peter Deleu from Heerenveen, I think that is. 17 years of age, he's a Dutch player. Young, still in the under-21 squad for Arsenal. Heerenveen is the club, actually. Sorry, I didn't quite say that right. Domenico Berardi from Manchester City, a very, very good player. He played 27 games, only scored 3 goals, 9 assists. Must have played a lot more on the right-hand side. And the final player is Fauzi Goulam from Manchester United. I'm pretty sure Paul Scholes brought in on the experiment we did yesterday. He only actually played 10 games, coming off the bench in 4 for Arsenal. So that is his sign. Sanchez actually left the club. Now that could be a huge reason why he didn't do well. So did Ozil. He sold 2 very, very big players there. Sanchez and Ozil both leaving to PSG and Barcelona respectively. Now Sanchez had a very good season for PSG and he was doing very well for Arsenal, being the top goal scorer for the last 2 years. Ozil sold as well to Barcelona. He got the most assists, I think, one of the seasons. His value's gone up loads as well. Davy Klaassen went to Inter, Gibbs to West Brom, Debussy to Everton, Ospina went to West Brom as well. Fortuné to Leicester, Wellington Silva to Swansea, and 2 younger players leaving the club as well. Sonogo left on a free, and there's a huge reason there why Arsenal didn't do so well. 2 massive sales to the club. Now Henry, is he still? He's no longer a legend. Is he an icon at the club? Yeah, he's an icon. So he hasn't dropped too far down anyway. Now, they didn't even do too well at all, to be honest. They're never in the top 4 this season, which is ridiculous. And that probably shows how badly they did. They were predicted to finish 4th. They finished 6th in the end. Some boards may have kept him. A lot of clubs may well have sacked him for the same reason. Champions League, knocked out in the first knockout round against CSK Moscow, I'm guessing that is. We ended up winning by the Premier League champions Chelsea. FA Cup, they were knocked out in the 3rd round by Spurs. That was also won by Chelsea. Capital One Cup, they were runners up. They lost to West Bromwich Albion, who yet again have won the FA Cup. Another cup, they won the Capital One Cup, but they're going to be in the... they did win the Capital One Cup. It's twice in 3 years West Brom have gone on to win it. Tactics-wise, he played with that same sort of formation again, but with Sanchez gone, he's playing Walcott up top with Dybala. I'm sure Berardi probably wasn't getting enough game time as a striker, along with Vieto as well. But player-wise this season, appearances, it was Ricardo Rodriguez again with the most appearances this season, almost ever present. 26 goals for Dybala, 20 for Vieto, and then it was 6 for Walcott. So then he had 2 people really scoring the goals for Arsenal this season. Top assist was Ramsey. Most player of the matches was Paulo Dybala, and the best average rating was Lauren Koscielny. So that is the end of the experiment. And Arsenal finishing 6th overall. Thierry Henry has been sacked as manager of Arsenal. He lasted 3 seasons, which is longer than a lot of other managers have lasted. And he did okay. Got him in top 4 for 2 of the seasons, but his reputation has gone up considerably. And his coaching style is one that some clubs may like. So if you did enjoy this video, please do drop me a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and make sure you leave a comment down below with some more experiments. And I'll see you all next time.